Welcome to today's webinar, What's New, What's Next? It's so cool to see so many people already joining the session. Let's give it another 1 or 2 minutes before we get started. All right. More people joining, which is great. Welcome again to today's What's New, What's Next airfocus webinar, where we will look at 2021, what we did achieve and what we were launching in terms of features and solutions. But we will also go into the details of our broader strategy and the idea behind modularity. And the part at the end of the webinar where I'm personally super excited about are going to be the questions and the feedback that we will hopefully get from all of you guys. Super quickly about me, my name is Malte. I'm the CEO and still CPO here at airfocus. I should also say that I'm the founder of the company, and around 4 years ago, I was kind of on the other side where most of our customers are today. So I was looking for a tool like airfocus to help me with prioritization, road mapping, product strategy, and all these important PM tasks. And since I couldn't find anything, I kind of felt the urge to build this thing myself with my wonderful co-founders. I should also say that today, Julia Baumgartner from our awesome customer success team is joining me. Many of you probably had touch points with her or other members of the team, and she might jump in here and there or towards the end in the Q&A. Yeah, so let's dive right into today's agenda. So we will look at 2021, talk about the new airfocus. Not so new anymore. We launched the very first version of the new airfocus last summer. And we're going to talk a bit about our ideology and the idea behind modularity for our end-to-end product management platform. And then thirdly, we are going to talk about what's next in 2022 and beyond. So going back at the last year and kind of doing a bit of a review, we essentially rebuilt big parts of the airfocus product to really put ourselves into a situation where we can be truly modular. And you will learn more why this is important to us and to you. But in order to do that, we really had to do major changes. Probably not super relevant or interesting to you, but maybe helpful for you to understand in terms of what we will be able to launch when last year. So following that big relaunch and the migration, we launched features and solutions like insights, forms, and then hierarchy towards the end of December. And like these three things, like really the highlights for me for last year. And I'm gonna show you a bit how they all fit together with the airfocus product in a minute. And then thirdly, we raised another financing round with an amazing French venture capital firm, and we grew the team to almost 50 employees by now. So a lot happened on the product and with the company behind the product. And yeah, like the big story, as you've now sensed, is the new airfocus and the modularity. And so you're probably asking yourself, what is modularity and why is that so important and why is he repeating that all the time? So it all started with a big learning that we made originating from hundreds of conversations with users and product managers and product leaders. And this learning is that companies, teams, products are unique, and they all have their own unique workflows and identities and ways of doing things. And usually this makes sense, and it is like it is because it has been proven. And we all know that there are usually things that we need to change in order to be more agile, more outcome driven, and so on. But like there are like usually things that are the way they are because they make sense, right? And we then learned that as these companies that are unique, when they scale and become more complex and evolve, that they actually need a purpose-built product management platform that can adapt to this unique context, right? And we learned that the software really needs to understand the context of the user and the team and the problem that the customer or user has. And then it needs to adapt to these situations and not the other way around, where the product or the company needs to adapt to the product, which is built in a very rigid way, right? So this learning we made like in 2020, and then we did lots of discovery, and then we did this big rebuild. And now we are sort of the first and only platform in the market that's really doing this in this modular way. And this is how airfocus now fits into this general product management workflow that we're all applying every day. So usually there is the feedback coming from multiple channels on the left, and then product management happens in the middle, and then you hand over stuff to delivery tools like Jira, Azure DevOps, Asana, Trello, Shortcuts, whatever you're using. And yeah, like this middle part, product management, is really difficult and more an art than a science, and you all know this. And the tricky part is that you need to find your own way of doing product management, and that you need different tools at different times, at different stages in the product management and discovery journey. So sometimes it's just a simple roadmap that you want to build. Sometimes it's a simple release plan. Then you maybe learn over time, hey, I actually have too much stuff in my backlog and I need a better way to prioritize this. And then maybe you also are kind of overwhelmed with all that feedback, and then you want to connect the feedback with your product backlog, and then you want to add another hierarchy level because you want to be more outcome driven. So it's a really unique process, sometimes starting super small, sometimes already being quite advanced. And our platform kind of tries to understand early what problem you have, and then giving you a very straightforward, simple product that you then can build upon. Yeah. And the building blocks for modularity with airfocus on the highest level are workspaces and workspace templates that you can start with in just a few clicks, and then you can use views, fields, and apps in order to build a product stack that makes sense for you. And many of you have already built very advanced, cool workflows in airfocus. So this is not necessarily news to you, but still helpful, I guess, to understand the architecture and where we're coming from and why we're building stuff the way we build it. So the real power of the modularity becomes especially apparent when you set up multiple of these flexible and interconnected workspaces to collaborate across teams and products, because product A is not always a complete linear path. B, multiple teams, people, products are involved usually, and sometimes it's as simple as, hey, I have a long backlog and I want to do a better product discovery workflow here, and then there's one PM just working on that one product. Very simple, right? But then there are other use cases where you have all that feedback flying in from different tools and solutions, and like leadership, sales, CS, they all send stuff on a very regular base, and you want to connect that feedback to this product discovery workflow in order to be really customer driven. And then with a thing that we will launch very soon, which is public portal, you may want to put certain backlog items in a kind of dressed up way. You want to send them to that public portal so your customers and users can engage with you on a more of a website like level, and then you ask them for feedback, and they will send the feedback, and then this again joins the other feedback in your feedback workspace, right? Like that's another setup that is possible in airfocus, and that makes a lot of sense in the product management process. But then very often stuff gets a bit more complicated because you grow as a company. Maybe you add more teams. You see here there are like now a dedicated team that's working on mobile products. Maybe you have an internal systems team that's more inward facing, and then you want to put a strategic roadmap on top of these workspaces, or roll up portfolio views in order to see the relevant items from all these, let's call them source workspaces. So that you can also do. And again, this is very custom to you because you're unique, and it might look like this, but sometimes it also looks like this, right? Like you have crazy workflows that are custom to you, and that's why the modularity is so important. So let's now jump into a demo where I will show you these new things that we've built, and also how everything comes together. So you can see here a very simple now, next, later roadmap in airfocus. It's our Boom roadmap. And you have the Forms app installed here, which essentially adds a form to a share link, and then this feedback gets sent to the feedback workspace, which you will see in a second. So you have made this thing here public through a share link, and your users are now seeing this thing here. And by the way, this will be heavily improved with the portal that I just mentioned, and that I will be talking about a bit later. Yeah, but like that's the interface that your users or customers see, and they have the submit idea button here, and they're now sending you feedback like, please make sure I never ever miss out on a call, please. And they're submitting this feedback now, and this is now coming to your feedback workspace that you've set up here in airfocus. So let's quickly go to the home screen where you find all your workspaces. So we were just on this, the roadmap workspace, and now we are on the feedback workspace where all that customer feedback is centralized and arriving from different channels such as Zapier, connected accounts, intercom, Slack, manual notes. The whole idea is that you have one, and in some cases multiple feedback repositories where you can also build a feedback handling or feedback management workflow that makes sense for you. So you see this, please make sure I never miss out on a call feedback here. And you can now like take it through a feedback workspace, which I'm not going to go into detail about, but essentially you now want to create an insight to an opportunity that you have in your product workspace. right? So you click Add Insight here, and then you highlight this little piece here, and you're now opening the Voom video platform, because this is where um, the related opportunity lies. And you're now with this click here connecting this feedback with this opportunity on your opportunity workspace, right? And you can quickly click here, and then you can already see like other feedbacks that have been linked and what higher level roadmap initiative this is connected to, but I don't want to confuse you too heavily. Let's quickly now jump into the original item. And so just so you're not overwhelmed, we started the journey on our roadmap, which you will see towards the end of the demo. Then we landed in the feedback workspace, and we are now going to the Voom video platform workspace, which is essentially the home for the product team. This is where the product team for the video platform product is operating and collaborating in. And here you find your opportunities. Sometimes they're features, sometimes they're more ideas. It depends. This workspace is also connected with different ticketing systems. Most cases it's Jira. And then these items, they have fields, and you have also different views here in order to run a proper product management process. And the cool thing is that you have now, when you click on the push notifications web item here, you can now in this Insights tab see all the feedback that has ever been linked to this opportunity here. And this really helps you have the feedback at hand when you need it. And also it pushes you to make more customer-driven decisions. Yeah. And what you can also do is you can also add that feedback here to your prioritization framework by making it a criteria in your priority rating settings, which is a really powerful instrument to give your stakeholders a direct seat at the decision-making table. And then in real time, when relevant feedback flies in, you can essentially put prioritization on autopilot. Yeah, and the prioritization system, as you know it, drives your prioritization score, and using the priority chart, you're equipped to make really objective and defensible decisions here. If you are trying to make prioritization more inclusive, you can use tools like Priority Poker in order to invite more stakeholders into this whole scoring and rating workflow. But I think at the end of the day, it comes down to running a proper product management discovery process, right? Like you really want to make sure that you have a process that is standardized for you, and again, that makes sense for you, where new opportunities kind of being taken from new to review to discovery to design, development, QA, and like towards this stage, then also get pushed over to your Jira, to your Asana, wherever this lies. And then, yeah, you want to also make sure that towards the end of the process that you're truly measuring the success of the things that you've launched, because too often, and I can be blamed myself, and we can be blamed, you're launching stuff and getting into feature factory mode and pumping out stuff at a frequent rate, but you're forgetting to really understand, like, the thing that I just launched today, is this actually solving the customer problem, right? What I hope I was now able to show to you is how the user journey from when a customer provides feedback on a share link here to the feedback workspace, where you centralize feedback and then sort out the relevant pieces and link them to your product work. I hope I was able to demonstrate how this can all now come together. And then also at the end of the workflow, obviously you when you're going more into release planning, you want to put stuff on timelines in order to properly plan towards milestones or OKR cycles or whatever you're using in your company. Yeah. So I now would like, in the next step, close the loop to the road mapping process, right? Because and we've now launched a new feature called hierarchy, which I'm totally excited about. It looks a bit complicated, but you will get it hopefully quite fast. It will enable you to create a product hierarchy that makes sense for you, right? And the idea behind product hierarchy is that you have different stages of the product management process that have completely different workflows, right? So what we're doing here right now, this is happening on the opportunity level. And in many cases, and I have done this before, most of the time you're operating here, right? You have all these ideas, features, opportunities, and you're doing product management, running discovery, and prioritizing, and putting stuff on timelines, and so on. And that's all great, but when your company matures and you have complexity in your organization, what you really want to do is you want to at a certain stage be strategic about things, right? And the way you can do this in airfocus with hierarchy now is by creating a hierarchy where you, for example, put an initiative workspace on top of this opportunity workspace. Yeah. So this is also the view that you saw in the very beginning. Sorry. Where you really focus on higher level initiatives, really big problems that on the highest level, you know, as a company, you need to solve, right? And this is also beyond like lower level prioritization scores and so on. This is really in line with the bigger objectives that you have in front of you, like all these initiatives need to drive these higher level objectives, right? Like increase user engagement. What are the 3 things that we can do right now in this quarter in order to drive it, right? And with the hierarchy, you can essentially link these different levels in a clever way. And let me show you how this works. So we switch now kind of context to more the strategy level, and we move to the room roadmap here, which is again happening on the highest level. And here you have these initiatives, and in the hierarchy you have linked the initiatives with 2, let's call them opportunity workspaces. You have the Voom video platform and the Voom mobile app, and both of them are of type opportunity. And what you want to do is you want to also connect the opportunities to the right initiatives. So remember, we had these 5 initiatives that are kind of in this area that you either have completed or that you're focusing on right now. And all of them, they have different opportunities from the lower workspaces here. And this really enables you to be at the same time very strategic, but then also connecting this with the lower level discovery pipeline and discovery work in the opportunity workspaces. So you can see here how push notifications across different teams is actually solving the bigger problem of allowing users to receive and manage notifications, and so on and so on. And this kind of closes this missing gap between the higher level product strategy and the lower level, which is not really lower level, but it's product management at its best. And it's really powerful in order to be more outcome driven and objective focused. Yeah, and if you now want to go even one level lower, so let's say you're again here on the Voom video platform workspace, where you have the opportunities and epics. What you can then also do is you could create another workspace and add it to this mix of hierarchy, right? Like let's say you want to have your stories for the different opportunity workspaces also be here. That's possible, right? Like you just added one level below it, and then you would be able to see here, okay, this has like five stories attached to it, and like these are the different statuses for each of the stories, right? So yeah, that's really the core of what I wanted to show to you right now. I think we might. Okay, sorry, I'm seeing that there's a comment already. Yeah, yeah, like maybe we are opening up the conversation right now already towards feedback or questions, because then in the next part I would actually switch to what's next in airfocus and talk airfocus roadmap with you. So let's have a look. What we have here in the chat. It's amazing how Julia is picking up the topics. Julia, is there a topic that we should discuss right now already here in front of the audience?
I think I've answered all the questions so far. I think we're good to go.
As always. Okay, we're not answering questions in real time right now. Cool, great. All right. Let's switch back to the presentation and what we are gonna launch next. So on the broader scope, we have now kind of made major steps, I hope, in order to be more of an end-to-end platform that can actually be a home for you and your teams. And we are now building upon this platform with more apps and integrations and views and field types in order to enable more efficiency for you, more speed, more logics, more business values, more automations, and so on. And the biggest thing that I owe you as customers is the branded portal, and that's why I'm gonna start with this before I give you a glance at the bigger broad roadmap. So we've learned from many of you over the last years that you want to have a public place on the internet where you can share selected ideas and opportunities in different ways in order to A, present what you're doing to your different audiences, and B, also get feedback on these ideas so that you can again be customer centric and involve the customers into the product management workflow as you should, right? And we're in the later stages of the development here towards launching the portal. And here, like already a little glimpse at how this thing could look like. I don't have the designs how this is exactly going to look like, but this should be ready within the next 2 weeks. But the product is really towards the end of the development cycle, which I'm totally excited about. There's already a prototype. So the idea is that you can create a portal in airfocus that you then can also send towards a branded subdomain, and that you can customize with your own logo and colors, and that you can then send selected items from different workspaces to this public place, right? And you can also create multiple of these public places. But the idea is that this is a place on the internet that looks much more like a website and not like a project or product management tool. And this is a place where you then can also collect feedback in a similar way that I've shown you today on the share link, by enabling people to fill out these forms and send feedback in a rapid way to your feedback workspace or product workspaces. So that's coming very soon, and I can't wait to have the airfocus roadmap also on that branded portal. So stay tuned. This is coming. So as a next step, let's have a look at our roadmap, which you, as a power user, probably know you can access right out of the help center, the help center here in airfocus. So the things that we're working on right now are, as I said, public portal, and then next we learned over the last year, especially, that with the size of workspaces that you're using, that it's sometimes not easy for you to group these workspaces, and kind of also cluster workspaces that are related through whatever logic you have. And that's why we are working currently on a thing called workspace groups. This is an internal project name, but essentially it allows you to group workspaces together and then kind of like a clever folder, provide more guidance and a better usability in order to bring together what belongs together, right? Like, and a good example would be, so we have the room feedback, the room roadmap, the room opportunity portfolio here, and they are like very related with each other, and they should also be displayed in the navigation and, for example, in such drop down, and that's what the workspace groups will be giving you. And then over time, we are going to build upon this concept of workspace groups by bringing permissions to that level. So you can simply invite someone to a workspace group, and then the permissions will trigger down to the individual workspaces. We're also working on hierarchy improvements. There are some super obvious things like showing parents on items, or automatically detecting the hierarchy on Jira when you're using Jira across multiple workspaces. So an example would be, you have a workspace that is more on the epic level, and then you have a workspace that's more on the story level, and you want airfocus and Jira to automatically sync the different hierarchy relations. So this and much more is coming soon. Another thing that is maybe not so interesting to talk about, but is very relevant, is performance, especially when you work on workspaces with lots of items. And this is where we put the focus right now as well, in order to improve the performance and the speed of the system when working with many items. We're also working on integrating with more support and team communication tools. So Slack is also in the last stages of development in order to be rolled out as a native integration. And then we're going to integrate into way more of these support and team communication tools like Freshdesk and Zendesk, and wherever your feedback lies, like Gong, and really the catalog for these tools is quite long. But the good thing is that these integrations are, compared to the DevTool integrations, are much simpler to build. So we will pump them out at a much higher frequency. Yeah, and as always, we're improving our DevTool integrations, and especially Jira as the most commonly used integration. So we are especially looking at advanced field mapping, automatic syncing, so you don't have to push that magical sync now button too often, and to also save your fingers. So that's coming because we understood, and this is not news to us, we know this from the very beginning, that the integrations with these systems have to work as flawless and as automated as possible, and that's why the continuous focus on these integrations. So that's all coming soonish. And if you now look at the next, the two things that I'm personally most excited about are how we will enable you to handle OKR workflows in airfocus. So this is a tricky one, and I don't want to go too much into detail, but you might already use another tool to do this. It's again like a very unique and individual way how people do this, and it's usually also involving other stakeholders that may be outside of the product team. So we need to find a clever way to integrate that. But we are very confident that we will provide a really good solution that integrates into these things that I've shown you, right? Like in airfocus today, we are already engaging you to use a custom field to work with objectives. So here, you always want to focus on your objectives, and you can do that in a very efficient way with these custom fields here. And let's say we replace this logic with a clever OKR app that sits on top of your different workspaces and allows you to set an objective tree with underlying key results that you can then link to your items. I mean, this is in a nutshell how this has to work in airfocus. So this is going to be amazing because we're also using OKRs here, and I cannot wait until we kickstart this. Also related to performance improvements, we're also going to focus on automations and workflow improvements. And it's not 100% sure how we are going to solve this, but a very likely case is that we are going to launch a system field status with different status categories in order to provide business logic to these different statuses. So something that is done should be treated differently to something that is more in the draft stage. So that's in a nutshell how we're gonna tackle this. A few more problems that we understood that we should solve and want to solve are progress tracking, obviously more inside app and feedback management improvements. That actually is already kind of here in progress, but the big changes, they will be coming soon. We also gonna improve like low level daily usage of the product when it comes to working on items. I think there is a lot still to do, especially on the item details views, the panel, the modal that we have recently launched. Yeah, and then more integration with development and task management tools like Pivotal Tracker and Airtable is heavily used by some people now. So there's still a broad range of tools that we want to integrate with more deeply. Yeah, and then the other thing that perfectly fits our model is expanding our views to facilitate the modularity, right? Because what airfocus is essentially, it's a way to visualize your items in very different ways and then cleverly connect them. And there are just more view types to facilitate this modularity. And for example, we just launched 2 days ago a new view type called list, which is just giving you a very simple list, but which allows you to have like unlimited nesting when you have hierarchy across multiple levels. So that's pretty cool. And there's way more to come in order to visualize your data in different ways. And then integrations with CRM tools is also something that we learned is very important, and we're going to put a lot of focus onto this once we're done with these very important next items here. And then very related to the views topic is how can we enable you to manage the highest level of product strategy in airfocus, which is around visions and documents and goals and personas, and how we can do this in a modular way in order to give it to you at the right time in your journey, right? Because there's not this one size fits all way of handling personas, right? This needs to make sense for you, and it should only be there when you need it. Yeah, and then more stuff you will find here on our public roadmap, and I'm very happy to answer all questions. And if not today, just reach out on LinkedIn and we can have a discussion there or on a Zoom call. So I love to talk to our customers and learn about their problems and how we can do a better job. Yeah, that's really all I wanted to share today. We will now move to the Q&A to answer questions. But before we do that, one little ask from our side, or more of a note. It would be really good if you could share your feedback of airfocus with us by giving a review on G2 or even Capterra, and you will not only be rewarded with a $25 Visa gift card, but we will also plant 5 trees for each review that we get until March 1st. So let's plant a whole forest, and just scan your QR code or do that on by just Googling like airfocus, Capterra airfocus G2. Yeah. So let's dive into the Q&A. Julia, what do we get?
So there have been some questions about ETAs, of course. As everybody knows, it's really hard to give specific ETAs. I already let them know that the public portal is coming soon. We have the very, very first version currently on our staging, and we're working all hands on it. Right, Malte? Everybody's working on it.
Yes, like not everyone, but a lot of people, yeah.
Exactly. And then there have been some questions about integrations. Are there going to be improvements in the Azure DevOps integration? Yes, exactly. And hierarchy, in terms of hierarchy, people were interested in something like, you know, when you open up an item that you can add quick little subtasks, not in terms of this whole hierarchy setup, but either something more specific and something more quicker. This has come in from Arthur, and we're actually gonna get on a call with him to get more details on his use case about that.
Yeah, so we'll make it much easier to add children to an item. It's already possible with just 2 clicks, but it needs to be better. And I guess what you're also referring to is more something like checklists, right? Like to add like little checklist items, little tasks to an airfocus item. Yeah, so that's something that would be possible with hierarchy today, but I also get like where you're coming from with something that's really tied to that one item. Yeah, we're also considering that. So there's also a question about Notion. Yes, Notion. I mean, we are Notion power users ourselves. So that's yeah, absolutely on the top of the list. Notion, ClickUp, Monday, Airtable, Pivotal Tracker, some of these older very powerful project management systems. 100%. Notion, top of the list.
I guess that's currently it. No more new questions are coming in. Drop them now.
You covered a lot of ground already.
Yes.
Yes. Good. I just wanted to say thank you all for joining and for providing feedback. And yeah, it's always super important for us to get the feedback, even if it's painful for us. That's how we grow and get better. Yeah, but all in all, we obviously love the way you use airfocus and the way you engage with us on a daily basis. It's really cool. So thank you all for being airfocus customers, and I wish you a great day. Thank you. Thank you also, Julia.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Yeah. Let's plant a forest.